Good afternoon. This is Kenny Digital World. This afternoon, I want to discuss farming. Here in my place, Aragba, Orogun, it has procedure of farming here. One, for you to farm here, it requires, if you don't have land to farm, one, you must look for who have land to farm. Then after then, you beg for the land. So we have a farm 2 acres, depending on the one your strength can go on. After you might have thought out for the land, you will pay. Then after paying, you look for laborers, those that you take as a job to brush the farm for you. That is the first step. You must brush depending on how big or small the farm is. You must make sure you clear the farm, which is brushing, depending on how many years the farm that have stopped working for the farm. Then after brushing, let me get a glass of water. I'm coming, please. Oh, like what I said earlier, after brushing of the farm, then you will cut. You still look for laborers to fall those woods because the farm have stayed for some time without clearing it. Then after cutting off those woods, which is falling off those wood, you give them time. Approximately before the leaf will dry up, there must be sun to dry those leaves off. Approximately 2 to 3 weeks, those leaves might have dried off so that it can enable you to set to burn. After 2 to 3 weeks, you must one criteria is that you must make sure you clean around the farm so that fire, if you want to set fire, so that fire will not outbreak it, will not go out from there to someone's farm. Then you can set fire. You must make sure it is clean. Then after then, you set fire on it. Then after setting fire on it, comes the crops that you want to plant. Here in my place, like as I mentioned earlier on, their major occupation here is mainly on cassava yam, tomatoes, peppers, and maize. If you have find time to go through my videos, you will find out that I've discussed about little on maize and cassava as well. Then the first step that you do in the farm, after setting fire on the farm, the first step that you do, you must make sure you pick those little woods that the fire was unable to burn. That is a day after setting the fire on your farm. Then after picking around comes the planting. The first thing that you plant is your maize, corn, oka. We used to call it oka here. You plant your corn. Then after planting of the corn comes planting of your cassava steps, which will take you some days depending on the length, the wideness, the acres of the farm that you have worked on. Some, like what I know here, some take laborers as well in helping them in planting of those cassava steps. Then after those planting of the cassava steps, you see plant yam. Is a mixture of crops. You plant cassava, you plant yam. Those are the most essential things, and the corn as well. Those are the three things that you must plant on. Then after 2 to 3 weeks, you decide to plant. You might decide to plant your pepper as well. You go and harvest those little pepper that you plant or you bought, so that it will enable you to plant as well. I think with this, the farm is already set. Let me get something, please. Like what I said, with this, the farm is month. You can start the maintenance. What do I mean by the word maintenance? You start weeding. Mind you, you start what? Weeding. You must make sure you weed around the farm. You must make sure that those crops that you have planted, you weed it for the first time, so that the grass doesn't kill it. Grass will not affect it at all. You must make sure you weed around those cassavas. and maize, including the yams. One out of those crops that I've mentioned, I think I'm going to pick them one after another. First, let me start with maize, because after planting, the first food that you eat from the farm is maize. Maize is the first food that you harvest from the farm, because within a space of 3 to 4 months, it has grown and matured. It has grown fruits. Folks, like what I said in my other episode, you weed round your maize. Make sure after the first weeding, the second weeding, which is a month interval, you weed round it. Make sure you put sand, you gather sand on it, so that to enable breeze not to bring it down. Because here we are in a rainy season, and if rain these days, rain do fall with breeze, which can easily bring it down. So when you are weeding around it, you must make sure that you pack sand to make sure that the sand cover the roots from the ground very well, so that you don't affect it. Then within a period of 2 to 3 months, those the maize that you planted might have started carrying children, which is their food for human consumption, which you must keep on clearing as well to make sure grass don't affect it. Keep on clearing so that the grass don't affect it. And even when you are still clearing it, make sure that your the network is kind of disturbing anyway. That's Nigeria for you. Like what I said earlier, you must weed not only the maize, but still the same application should also go to your yam and the cassava that you have planted already. Then within a space of 4 months or thereabout, those maize will be matured to harvest to eat. You must make sure there to harvest your crops, which is maize especially. That is the first thing that you get from the farm, out of yam, cassava, and the maize. You harvest maize first from the farm, because it have within period of 4 or 5 months, your maize is ready for human consumption. Then the second step that I'm going to discuss as well is our yam. Please, let me get something first. earlier discussed here, the process of planting yam here is more harder than when you are planting maize or your cassava stems. Why do I say so? If you want to plant your yam here, one, you must dig hole, not just a small hole as if you are digging cricket. The hole must be big and deep as well. If you want your yam to produce good food, you must dig a good hole. Then after digging the portion that you want to plant, then you start, it has a process. You start planting your yam inside those holes. There are ways that you cover it. You don't just bury the yam there. You don't just have to bury the yam there. No. There are processes that need to be followed. There are ways that you plant your yam. Then after planting, 3 weeks to a month, the yam will start bringing out eyes. It will start germinating from the ground. And there are stage the thing will be up to. You look for small stick. Is either you cut your palm oil fruit, the palm oil fruit that is just coming up like a year or 2 years. You use it to pin it first. Here, in my dialect here in Aragba, and na-akpa arụrụ. Iwu si ye were arụrụ were tue tie gida. Igbutewe then ya di yek michine. Iye wijine. Excuse me, let me pick this. No, I was good there. I got my yen and now. After that sort now. You never help me to confirm with I tell you. You never give me anything. That's sort now. For confirm. That's more boy. Yeah, yeah. Doesn't make confirm things. Okay, this is a cannot be as much. I tell you. Alright. Okay, that's so bad. Yeah, iye ka kuku je nya o. Ah, ile go go beauty ya mo ngala ya. Alright. That's so bad. Okay, okay, okay. Let my discussion continue. Sorry for the break in transmission. It was due to a phone call that I just received. That aside, I was using my language to describe things here, which is the process of putting yam, of planting yam, sorry, which is a very long process. Like earlier said, it is good sometimes. So you use a small stick, and then after a month and 1 week, then use big wood. You must make sure you peg it close to the yam that you planted, so that as soon as it germinates, it can easily tie himself around that yam. You make sure say wuru ni weri to iti wa already to ni. Then open or the for Aragba, so that if the yams grows, it will see where it can spread, go with the wood, it can relax there. Because it don't just, it's more or less like a, how do I say it here? Oyini kosi kunufi iwosi na ogbagoro ife na de kwek pan well. Then after some months, like I say 7 to 8 months, you must still make sure that grass don't affect it. You must make sure you weed round the yam as well. Because if the grass affect it, it will not bear good food as well. Most time grass used to kill them. It will be only on one condition, that you clear around it. That is only when the grass will not affect it at all. So you must make sure you clean it very well. You clear and weed, most especially you weed around the farm, so that grass don't still affect your yam as well. Constant maintenance of it. Then upside down, after 7, depending on the species of yam that you planted, after 7 to 8 months, the yam might be ready to harvest. That is when you begin to enjoy your labor as well. I think, let me get something first. I think before I will proceed, I should thank God first for His mercy, for Him to keep me to this very day, not by my strength. I never expected that I would be alive to this very moment. God has been kind. Have been merciful as well. Not only me, to my kids, to my wife, my mother, and to all my siblings. It has been wonderful. It has been doing majestic work. Let me praise his name first. From east to west, Orogun, Orogun. From north to south, I said, it can never change. Can never change. Can never change. Jesus himself forever.